Every time you hear a bio, you're like, wow, who is that guy? And,
Yeah.
you know, but it kind of interesting because that's kind of how it started in my career. I tell the story at 19, like a lot of people, I didn't have the aptitude to go to college and didn't have a skill at that point. Wanted to be a coach. My dad was a coach. My mom was a teacher. And I would say I was lost, but I was very concerned about my options. I got a part-time job when I went to junior college in 84. And let's just say that, be honest, I mean, be right place, right time. Peter decided to franchise and I was going to go back to school, and he has a way of talking you into things. And he said, "No, I don't think you want to do that." And I was like, "No, I don't." He said, "Well, why don't you do this?" And I said, "Okay." We went public, 2 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
We took Chick-fil-A off of their 11-year run of customer satisfaction. And I don't think we did anything different than what I was taught, by my parents, first of all, but also what we did from day one. We were serving people a product. We weren't serving product. It was always the purpose was, those relationships that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Crazy ride for sure.
As Chris already mentioned, you were with Jersey Mike since 1980. Your titles there, SVP and brand ambassador and coach of leadership and culture, or just coach, gives us insight into how you help build culture across that business. Before we dive completely into that, we want to know, when did the coach moniker happen and why?
Well, I mean, my dad, I was fortunate enough to have a father in my life. He's since passed, and I wanted to be him. And everywhere we went when I was younger, some of my earliest memories were him taking me to practice or scouting another high school or going up to his alma mater in Seton Hall University. And everybody called him Coach Hughes. And everybody loved Coach Hughes and told me how awesome my dad was. And so that always stuck with me. That's what I wanted to become, was a phys ed teacher and a coach. When that didn't work out because of, just wasn't a very good student. I didn't know at the time. A lot of us didn't know at that time either. ADD and dyslexia wasn't something that people were being diagnosed with. Subsequently, I've been diagnosed with both, which is fine. I call them my superpower. But when we first started to create the training programs, I didn't know. So I found a manual from this company, and another franchisee came in and gave me his from Kentucky Fried Chicken, and somebody gave me some from Bonanza and Taco Bell. And I got all these manuals and materials, and they were all the same. Then I had to create a lot of it. I had to create a lot of the curriculum, a lot of the material. It wasn't just, hey, pick the bottle up, put it down, sprinkle like everybody thinks. I realized that I said, I need a framework for it. So I created playbooks for everything. So you had a closing playbook, an opening playbook, a slicing playbook, a sprinkling playbook, a hiring playbook. Everything was a playbook. Again, because if you look at the industry I'm in, it's physical. There's teamwork, stamina, coordination, rhythm, and all those things. It was a perfect fit. So I started handing out whistles, a coach's whistle, probably about, I want to know, maybe early 1990s. And then it just took off from there. And it was funny because there were some people that would come in and I would use so many sports analogies that they would whisper to me or come up to me at break and be like, "Coach, I was in the band." I was, which is fine because my mom was a music teacher, and I learned that a musical instrument is probably harder than dribbling a ball. But that's where it kind of came from. And then I just wanted to be the best coach I could be. And I just studied everything I could do that came with coaching. But that's kind of how it happened. And some people don't even know my first name. There's some.
That's Coach.
Well, it is. They do know your first name, Coach. Yes.
I know.